So, you've read the title. I went to Japan. Yeah, pretty cool. Until it got messed up somewhere along the trip. But don't worry. I figured it out. It's all fine now. But yeah, I was supposed to go on this cruise. I was supposed to go around Japan, but oof. So I packed up, got ready to go, hopped on my flight, and oh jeez, that took forever, I tell you. And I finally got to Japan, and wow, it's a beautiful place. Like, I wasn't expecting this to be this cool, you know, and I'm looking around Tokyo. I'm like, I feel like I'm in a kaiju set, you know, like those old Japanese movies, those old, really old, like monster movies, aka they're also known as kaiju. I just felt like I'm in one of those movies, you know, how these buildings seem so fake, but yet in my eyes, in Japan, they're real, you know. Oh gosh, and the food. It's like one of the best parts of Japan. Every restaurant I went into, they always had good food. So I'm walking around Japan, and I happen to run into this arcade building. I try to look inside, and it looks like there's a film crew, and they're filming something, and I was kind of curious. So I went from the other way, like the back side of the arcade. They had another entrance there. I went through there, and gosh, there's a lot of arcades in there. A lot of stuffed toys, anime figurines, and such things. But I went through, and I finally caught the film crew, and it looks like they were filming like a Japanese woman just playing some arcade game or something like that. I couldn't really tell, but yeah, that's what I saw. I actually happened to run into two film crews. One I caught on film, which is the one that you're seeing. And there's one, I was just walking around Japan without my camera, and I just happened to run into another film crew, which was pretty funny, but, you know. So after that, I continued walking around Japan, and I noticed something. They had these, like, I don't know what you call them, but, like, you know, you put the coin in, and you roll the little twisty thing, and you get your little prize or whatever, candy, toy. Yeah, I saw a lot of those in Japan, and a lot of them are like anime keychains and just mostly just little anime toy things or even candy sometimes, but I saw a lot of those in Japan. They really like those. I also happen to run into some interesting anime figures as well.
Oh my god, what is this?
You see, a lot of weebs like to go to Japan to see their favorite anime stuff or their favorite mangas, but for me, it's gonna be Godzilla or samurai stuff. Godzilla's been a kaiju hero to me since childhood, and samurais, I love samurais and their culture, from Miyamoto Musashi to Toshiro Mifune. They're great. So much of these arcades in Tokyo. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Like, it's too many to count everywhere I was there. They had, like, you know, those little claw things where you grab your prize. Yeah, they had a lot of those, from stuffed animals, anime figurines, to even like Japanese snacks, which is pretty cool and weird. And heck, I even tried one, but I'm not gonna talk about it. Yes. Are you kidding me? You gotta be serious. So I'm still walking around Japan, and I just happened to see...
This is where the fun begins.
Okay, now I'm starting to see Godzilla stuff, and I was expecting a lot of anime stuff to be seen, but no, they have just the same amount of Godzilla stuff. Like, they had anime and Godzilla. Like, wow, it was great. Like, I mean, anime, it's cool and all, but Godzilla, it's like heaven for me. So after looking at all the awesome Godzilla stuff, I started to walk back to my hotel, and I flipped on the TV, and I just happened to see on the Japanese news that the cruise I was supposed to go on is under quarantine. And yes, the people who work for this Princess Cruises, if I remember right, if that's the name of it, they told me that it's under quarantine, and I already knew that because someone on it had the coronavirus, but I was not expecting this to be on the news. Like, wow. And what's shocking to me is that I was supposed to go up next, along with the people who were supposed to go up next as well. So I was like, wow. And even when I went back to the US, they had it on US news as well, which was shocking. I was like, wow. Thank God I did not go on that. Due to my cruise being canceled, they told me that they're gonna give me my money back, but only in the US. I can't get my money back in Japan. I don't know why they didn't give it to me then, but it's kind of bull. So, due to that, I had to go back to the US. I was only in Japan for a day, which was pretty sad. But when I returned to the US, I got my money back, and I scheduled another flight to Japan. I'm like, okay, a day wasn't enough. I need to be there for at least like a week, because I loved it there for that 24 hours. So I finally went back, took some beautiful pictures, took some great footage. It was great. I loved it there. And I still do. I wish I was there right now. But one thing was a little off though. A lot of people looked at me weird. I don't know why. It's probably because I was wearing the Saitama hoodie, you know, from One Punch Man, which literally translates as boobs. So yeah, maybe that's where I'm getting the weird look from. Oh, and if there's any weebs watching this video, this part's for you. Yes, I went to a bunch of these anime stores, these manga shops, all where weebs would love to go. And I just happened to run into this mall, which has a lot of stuff, by the way, and one of these floors is an anime shop. And this is not just a weebs store, this is a straight up nerd store. Oh, and in this mall, the first floor, there's a Godzilla store. Yeah, it's literally just called the Godzilla store. Apparently this is the only Godzilla store in the world, which is really cool. I didn't buy anything in this Godzilla store because it was very expensive, but I did enjoy looking around. Even though it was torture, but I enjoyed looking around on all the Godzilla merchandise, and they had a lot of stuff. I really wish I could get my hands on some of this stuff, because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. So you've seen the Godzilla head on top of that, you know, Toho Theater Tower. I went up there, and it's great. I loved it. I didn't just get to see a close-up of Godzilla himself, but I also saw some engravings up there from different Godzilla movies, and yeah, it's cool. And yeah, that's it. That's my Japan trip. It's a little rough at first due to the whole coronavirus deal, but I got that figured out. It was great. Instead of a day, I stayed there for a week, and it was awesome. I got to see lots of Godzilla stuff, which was awesome. I got to kind of see a samurai museum, but I had to pay for it, which was too expensive, so I only saw like a little bit in the inside, but you know, who cares. And I did see a lot of anime and manga stuff, which was awesome, and the food was amazing. So yeah, hope you enjoy this video. Subscribe if you want, like the video. I don't care. Just do what you gotta do.